Who is Dr. Destroyo?
Who is Dr. Destroyo?
Who is Dr. Destroyo?
Who is Dr. Destroyo?
Who is Dr.
Who is Dr. Destroyo? Who is Dr. Destroyo?
Who is Dr. Destroyo?
Who is Dr. Destroyo?
I am Dr. Destroyo. From the Death by Media Man podcast show, it's Dr. Destroyo. The story of the world's first true supervillain. We're telling Dr. Destroyo in sequence every 2 weeks. So if you haven't listened to the first episodes, go back and start there. Then, this will all make a lot more sense. Chapter 33. With the disappearance of Rex's challenge, I had to figure out what came next, all by myself. I couldn't decide if I wanted to record another message. I felt like I had to consider all the sides to the situation and all the possible outcomes. It was like looking ahead to all the potential moves that could be made in a game of chess. A game of chess as large as the city, with millions of little pieces needing to be put in their places. I wondered, what if Rex's disappearing act was a bluff, meant to draw me out? What if there was some way to track me down with the discs that I'd left? What if they were somewhere out there hunting for me, just waiting for me to make some sort of stupid mistake? They being the cops or some other sinister organization with my downfall as their agenda. I had to play it carefully, but I couldn't just give up. That was the crux of my whole existence. I could keep my mind safe by staying in the identity of Dr. Destroyo, but the doctor needed to keep moving forward. Always progressing. Always consuming. Like a shark. The doctor had a voracious appetite. If I gave up now, I was just some deranged killer. I was sick in the head. If I just thought I was a supervillain, I was an idiot. But if I actually was a supervillain, then I was the cleverest bastard alive. So, I had to keep playing. I had to press on. I couldn't sit and stagnate. That way would lead only to madness and deeper madness. I spent some time trying to come up with a follow-up to my manifesto. What was my message? What was the point to what I was trying to do? Was my whole communication just a big fuck you to the rest of the world? Did I want to keep hurting people and destroying things? I had to admit that the footage of the burning hotel was pretty cool. Rex's challenge had served to show me that I was not alone in the world. There were people outside of my own head thinking about me, hunting for me, and there were people outside of their heads possibly hunting them just the same. What I knew for sure was that I was not alone. There was nobody like me, but I was not alone. I knew that I couldn't take credit for the disappearance of Rex's challenge, because if he suddenly reappeared, then Dr. Destroyo would come off looking like an incompetent boob, and that was simply not something I could allow. But I could let people know what I was thinking, in a sort of abstract, narcissistic way. Abstract narcissism. There was something about the very idea of the phrase that felt like it fit me perfectly, like a snug glove around my fist. Dr. Destroyo was less of a man, and more than a mask. He felt no fear, no guilt. Dr. Destroyo was like a refined version of myself. It was like I was projecting a purified version of my inner self beneath a mask. It felt like I hadn't just found it or created it. Nah, it was more like I'd grown it, like an extra limb or a protective shell. I'd grown a new identity, like an internal organ I'd mutated just to deal with the task of modern living. I wasn't going crazy. It was the world that was crazy, and I was gradually growing saner than I'd ever been before. But who knows what it looked like from the outside? Chapter 34.
You know what I love? I love the fires of chaos.
It was a cold open.
I see you all out there. You think you're so fucking special, don't you?
Just me, up against the plain white wall.
You cower in your little rented caves, paying for magic sparks that spit out of the wall and warm your cold little primate bodies. You're not even real people. You don't even have the courage to be real. You're not even really alive. Your world is just a playground for ghosts.
In a black suit jacket.
You saw to that yourselves. You made a whole empire out of praising celebrities and voting in corrupting influences. You consume and procreate, and it all just amounts to a culture of defecation. Defecated desires, defecated lives.
With a white dress shirt and a black tie.
And all you want is somebody to carry you through it all. A mommy or daddy to tuck you in. Something nice to play with your genitalia. Burn the rest of the world, turn it all into ground meat. As long as you're safe and you can't hear the screams, it's all okay, isn't it? Slave labor camps next door, just turn up the television.
And a pair of black gloves.
Oh, I know, there's more to you than that. There's the givers, the carers, the philanthropists. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're just a superior class of victim, enabling the endless cycle of cruelty that dehumanizes the whole point of existence. If you really wanted to help people, you'd put a bullet in their fucking heads.
And the mask. I grinned at the camera like I was gonna howl at the moon. It didn't matter what I did. Nobody could make out my facial expressions. The featureless fabric was my visage. I gave nothing away.
You know what your problem is? Your problem is yourself. Yourselves. You are your own greatest limitations.
I wanted to twitch, to scratch my nose, but I needed to keep myself covered. If I showed anything, even so much as a scrap of skin that could indicate my ethnicity, then I'd have given away an enormous part of the game. People needed to be able to imagine that there could be anything under the mask. That was the point. I could be their best friend, their dearest lover. I could be themselves, yourself, your true self, the part of you that you can't admit to yourself.
You know what I want? I want to see a world of people like you strung up by your thumbs. I want to see your species down on its knees, and you're so close already. You're so close. We can almost see it from here. It's a perfect picture of planetary submission.
I snarl and make funny faces under the mask. Nobody can see me. I stick out my tongue at them, lewdly. They'll never know.
I want to set your world alight, just to watch the flames climbing up in the sky. I want to burn it all down and eat it all up and waste all the resources and rub your fucking face in it. You fucking cowards and hypocrites and so-called ordinary people just trying to live good little lives. Because fuck you. You're what got us here, to where money is the only god and every child is reared to be a whore. You look around at this world and what do you see? An endless parade of cattle, all seized up with self-importance and sexual lust.
I felt hungry, violent, turned on. I wanted everything, and I could feel those wants consuming me.
Well, guess what, gentle parents? You may now rejoice and tell your children the truth. Tell them there is a boogeyman, a creature in the dark, Something in their closets waiting to get them as soon as the lights are turned down low. He's out there, and he's killing heroes and slipping between raindrops.
I felt lonely, estranged, alienated. I felt ripped apart from everything else.
Remember all that bullshit where Jack the Ripper said he birthed the 20th century or whatever? Well, welcome to the 21st century, assholes.
I put my gloved right hand up to the side of my head, my index and middle finger the barrel of a gun that was pointed at my brain.
I am Dr. Destroyo, and I am very fucking real. And that's all you need to know.
The imaginary handgun goes off, my head bucking slightly as the imaginary bullet travels through my temple, my holy temple of my mind. There, the video ended. Dr. Destroyo is written and produced by Hank Pattison for the Death by Media Man podcast channel. You can subscribe to the Death by Media Man podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a like or a comment and tell a friend. And if you'd like to support the Death by Media Man channel with your money, there's a link to our Patreon in the description of this program. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next installment of Dr. Destroyo.